Hello and welcome to another video from TW White & Sons Mazda. Okay, here we have today a 2022 on a 72 plate Mazda MX-30. Now this is Mazda's first attempt at an all-electric car. The vehicle's been in production for a year and a half now, about 18 months, something like that. Mazda sold a good few thousand of them in the UK. And this is a car that is registered to us, so it's our demonstrator vehicle, but is full battery electric. So you need access to be able to plug the car in, or an electric charging point. Now they supply the cars with a cable for public charging, so when you find a charging point at your local Tesco's or a petrol station where they have electric charging as well, and they also supply them with the ability to be able to plug it into like a 3-pin plug, which is what we do with an awful lot of our cars actually, because the slower you charge it, the better. With an electric car, it seems to be becoming very apparent very quickly, and this car is no different. So will sort of take overnight. I think they take about 11 or 12 hours if you're putting it into a 3-pin plug, but actually if you put it into a rapid charger, you can have the car charged in about half an hour, something like that, if it's like a 50 kilowatt DC charger. Now this is a GT Sport Tech, so very comprehensive specification, highest level of trim you can have in an MX-30. And as I mentioned, it is a car that is registered to our dealership and is in use by us. We have a second MX-30 demonstrator, so this is the car that we're trying to keep the miles off and to keep it as close to new as possible. Now, it's finished in a colour called ceramic, which I think suits the car beautifully. It's a really nice Mazda colour. They don't actually offer it on every model because it's quite a unique and quirky colour. It wouldn't suit every car, but actually on this I think it suits it really well. But almost sounds a bit cringy, but I would suggest it looks like the sort of colour you'd expect to see on an electric car. The specification's really comprehensive. I'll show you as much of that as I can as we go round, and try and explain all the features of the car to you. Now in the boot you're going to have the 3-pin plug cable that I mentioned. So like I said, you can literally plug this into the wall and it will charge the car. It will take a little bit of time because you need probably overnight, 11 or 12 hours. Mazda do supply it with a little bag to carry all your leads in as well. It says Sky Active on it, but it's a decent sized boot. You'll notice as well, as I pull the boot down, you have a camera on here. Now it's not just a reversing camera, because of the high spec of this car, it's actually a 360-degree view camera, and probably one of the most unique features of the car, I'll show you, is the rear doors. So they are hinged, what they I believe referred to as suicide hinges, so they're on the other side and doors open outwards like that. But the belt for the driver is here, and you have some rear seats here as well. It's a decent amount of space actually. It's you sort of sit quite a long way back in the back of the car, but it's finished with this really nice dark leather. You could actually option these from new with a light or a dark leather. If I jump in the car, you'll see you've got a sort of digital display here. I'm just going to turn the ignition on. It's a push button start car as you'd expect. Comes up with a little graphic of the MX-30 there, which I think looks really cool. Now the anticipated range of the car is between 120 and 140 miles on a charge, and we'll know now that electric cars are the sort of opposite to internal combustion, and that they actually last a little bit better. The sort of economy is improved when you're doing local running around, and they actually get a sort of, I was going to say thirstier, that's not an appropriate term for an electric car, but it will use more power on a motorway, whereas internal combustion seems to prefer it the other way around. But as you can see, car's about half charged, and it's suggesting you do about 70 miles on that, so around 140 on a full charge if you drive sensibly. Now you have this lovely touchscreen panel for climate control. This is all new to us. We haven't had this in another car before. You have heated steering wheel that you can see there, heated seats. There's lots of stuff in the press about using things like the air conditioning and the heating in electric cars, and the fact that that has a real detrimental effect on your battery. Now, very interestingly, using the heated seats and the heated steering wheel doesn't, because that's actually driven from the main battery of the car, not the hybrid battery. So if you wanted to heat up without using any power, that's your option. You've got the multimedia screen here. I'll show you the reversing camera. Like I say, it's a 360-degree view camera, so you can see you've got that bird's eye view of the car, which is a really good indication of sort of being able to park between white lines and things like that. It gives you a perfect idea of where you are parking, you know, sort of straight in a space. You've got DAB digital radio, which you can see here, Bluetooth hands-free phone connectivity, and that does audio streaming as well. Integrated navigation. Now, so many manufacturers are moving towards smartphone enabled sat nav, where you have to plug your phone in, and obviously if you lose data or you're in a weak signal area, it ends up not working. So Mazda are still very traditional in that they want you to have an integrated navigation system in the car, but you do have the option to use Apple CarPlay and Android Auto in this car if you want to use your own maps like Waze and WhatsApp and Spotify and all that sort of stuff while you're on the go. You've got a head-up display in this car. Hopefully you're going to be able to see just in front of us there. You've got that little 0 mile per hour logo, and it's showing you the 40 mile an hour sign as well, because that's the zone that we're in at the moment. You've got climate control. Oh, we've been over that. You've got all your controls for steering wheel here, which is Bluetooth hands-free phone. You can see to answer calls, volume, all your information for your trip information, which is in the center screen here. You'll notice that'll change the display as you flick through it and show you how many miles per kilowatt. The adaptive cruise control system here, so that's a laser guided cruise control with lane keep assist. And a really nice gear shifter on this actually. So it's got a little button on the side, just push it over to one side to select reverse and down into drive. But it's a really nice feeling gear shifter, fits your hand lovely. All the controls for the multimedia system here, and electronic handbrake there as well. You've also got a sort of floating centre console. I don't know if you can see just down here, and you've actually got a socket down here to use a 3-pin plug if you want to, if you've got a device you need to plug in, USB connectivity down there, and tons of usable storage down there. It's actually quite a nice place for it, but this is all sort of floating. It looks very smart, not something we've had before. And like I say, car was option with the dark interior. You do get a sunroof in this car as well. It's quite a rare thing with a modern car now. I really like dark headline. I think that looks really nice and really premium. And I can see at the moment, car has only covered 49 miles. It is a car that's registered to us, so that may well increase. Do check with us, but tend to keep the miles as low as possible on this particular car. Turn the car off. One of the best features of the car, you've got electric memory seats that you can see down here, and for me, the BOSE stereo. That's something you only get on the GT Sport Tech, and you have some very clever LED headlights on this car as well. If you've got any other questions or anything you'd like to know about the car, please feel free to get in touch. We'd love to accommodate a test drive. These drive like a typical Mazda. It's really quiet, really comfortable, and actually a decent amount of power. They produce around 145 PS, but actually with it being electric, that sort of instant torque, it feels an awful lot quicker than that. Yeah, couldn't encourage you more to come and have a drive of the car. And if you've got any other questions, please feel free to pick up the phone to us. Thank you very much for watching. We hope to speak to you soon. Cheers then. Bye.